Hi, I'm a local hippie, and we're at Panera because my car is being repaired, and I'm waiting for it to get finished. And while we're here, I'm gonna film my review of Konstantin by Lillian Harris. I keep wanting to call her Lillian Garcia, and I just want to know where I got the name Lillian Garcia from because I don't know. Okay. Um, Let me know down in the comments what was your best read of January. And with that, let's get into it. I'm a little tired. I can't even lie to you. I am a little bit tired today. But basically, Konstantin is a Russian mafia romance. I don't know if that qualifies as the dark romance category, if it's a sub category within dark romance, but it was pretty dark. Um, what I will say straight out of the gate is I rated this 2 stars. But the crazy thing about this book is that while it was bad, it was like objectively bad, like technically bad, you know, thematically bad, you know, the story was interesting and I wanted to know what would happen to our main character, Amelia. She has two names. She has an alias and then her real name. Her real name is Amelia. Her alias is Tessa. Um, and I wanted to know what was going to happen to her because she mixed herself up in the world of Konstantin Marinov. I believe his name is Marinov. Konstantin Marinov, who is the oldest brother of three. So there's four of them, but he's the oldest. So it's Konstantin, it's Alexei, it's Kirill, I believe. Forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. And then the youngest one is Anton, I believe. They're all Marinov, and they are a part of the Bretva, um, Russian mafia. And she gets herself mixed up with Konstantin because for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, that's made clear later in the story or early in the story, for whatever reason, but let's just say it like that. For whatever reason, she, yeah, for whatever reason, because it was never really made known exactly why she was led to believe that Constantine was the reason that her brother was put into prison. Her brother is a cop, and he was framed for the murder of his partner. So he's put into prison and he's getting into a lot of trouble in prison. Her brother's name is Nate. So Nate is getting into a lot of trouble in prison and she's trying to get him out, get him cleared of the charges because he was innocent. And a person who was like a father figure to her and Nate um, helped her infiltrate her way into the Marinov family via Konstantin. And that's basically what the story is about. That's the main plot. She's trying to uncover the truth about why her brother was put into prison so that she can get him out. And that was an interesting enough plot for me. And what I found with this one is that it's a very simple plot. You know what I mean? Very, very straight to the point. But what this author did was she kept throwing all kinds of like weird things, weird obstacles in the way that ultimately had nothing to do with the plot at all. And I found myself feeling like, what is going on? You know, I found myself towards the end of it getting to a point where I'm like, okay. Like, get back to the main plot. Because one of the things um, that was important to the plot is she's having these dreams and she's trying to decode them. And it's like I'd lie to you not, we get like 80% through the book before we find out what that dream is because we spend so little time exploring that avenue. And it turns out that that dream was really important into figuring out what happened with Nate and, you know, how to get the evidence. And then we find out something like 70% through the book that Constantine had absolutely nothing to do with her brother being put away. Instead, it was an opposite crime family. And it's like, okay, what I, with all that being said, and also there's a lot of very pointless spice in this book. This book is very, very spicy. Spice level here. So spicy. And look, I'm not a prude, okay? I'm not a prude. But I just found myself skimming through, because these are pages and pages and pages of smut when we could have been focusing on the plot. That's all I'm going to say about that. Um, I just found myself like being like, hurry up. You know what I mean? Not hurry up as in rushing, but like the book is 400 and like 20 pages. Okay. And it could have easily been 150, maybe even 200 pages less than that. Okay. Less. And I'm not even, and I'm not even going to get into how just horrific the writing was, how juvenile the writing was. These are supposed to be people who are like, Constantine is supposed to be, I think he's supposed to be 45, if I'm not mistaken. Constantine is supposed to be 45. Okay. And let me tell you, he does not behave like a 45-year-old. Most of the time, he behaves more like a toddler than he does an adult man. Okay. And don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on um on Elena slash Tessa. The way she acts in this story to me is counterproductive to her goal. If her goal is to get information from Constantine and to get close to him, and the thing is, Constantine is like obsessed with her. So like, why would you not play into that? She actively like is prickly towards him when she's trying to get this information from him, which is counterproductive in my opinion. It's not like you have to be a pushover and let him walk all over you, but you know, the way she acts just is counterproductive to progress, let me just say. And once she found out that Constantine had absolutely nothing to do, which I had a feeling all along, he had nothing to do with what happened to her brother, like she was still acting the same way towards him and wouldn't tell him the truth. So they were both acting very immature. This read, if you take all the spice away, this did not read like an adult romance, which is a problem, a big problem. But I was invested because I did want to know what happened to her brother. I did want to know how the plot would progress, how she would make this work. Um, and I had a feeling that what went wrong would go wrong, and it did go wrong. But then she added in another twist at the end to kind of offset that, because she probably knew that people would be able to guess the plot. But yeah, overall, this one, it was a fun read. I will say that it made me laugh when I'm pretty sure I was not supposed to be laughing. I was entertained, and sometimes it's all you can ask for from a book, you know? So, yeah, that is my review for Constantine by Lillian Harris. I got it from Kindle Unlimited if anybody wants to read it. Um, so, yeah, with that being said, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good evening. And most importantly, I hope you read a good book. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye.